Hello YouTube, this is DrawingKit1313 and welcome to part 3 of my Minecraft mod showcase for IndustrialCraft. Now on part 2 I was using IndustrialCraft 1.95b. There has since been an update and I am now using IndustrialCraft 1.97. I believe a few new things have been added, but nothing too drastic that would make me want to change the way that everything is going. So last part we covered energy. Everything about energy, how to transport it, how to store it, all that fun stuff. So in this part we are going to look at how to use that energy, with this being the machines. So we are pretty much just going to look at the machines of IndustrialCraft 2. Now in this part I am actually going to split the machines into two separate parts, this one being just the basic machines, and then in the next part I will be covering the more advanced machines such as the induction furnace and some of the more advanced things that we don't have to worry about just yet. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so in part 1 or possibly part 2 I showed you this thing, the iron furnace. And I mentioned it really quick in that, it functions just like a furnace, only it's a little bit faster. However, this is still kind of inefficient because it still has to use coal. So let's go ahead and look at something that doesn't use coal. Maybe one that uses electricity. Maybe an electric furnace. The electric furnace, crafted as shown, just an iron furnace surrounded by redstone and that electronic circuit that I showed you in part 1. And it runs off of electricity. As you can see, I have a nice little MFSU. And then I have the medium and low voltage transformers underground here. And then this stuff right here, don't worry about it. These are solar arrays from a add-on for IndustrialCraft 2. I'm not really going to cover these, but basically it's a whole bunch of power being generated. You can see that I have a full MFSU. But we're not going over that now. We're going over the electric furnace. Again, it works just like a regular furnace, only it's a little bit faster. You can notice a significant speed difference from this, and let's see if we were to get a regular furnace out of here. Find it somewhere. There we go, not a squid, but a regular furnace. Let's go ahead and throw some coal into here, and just half a stack in there, and then that stack in there. So you can see that this is going up, and that's a lot faster. So pretty significant speed difference in terms of the smelting speed, which is pretty cool. Allows you to not only kind of conserve resources and not have to go through as much coal, but it's a lot faster, which is always better. So with that said, let's go ahead and look at the next machine. Now in IndustrialCraft 2, since there are so many machines, you're going to find yourself being pretty short on different metals like iron or copper or tin or things like that. So we need a machine that will help us to kind of increase our income of ores and ingots. Well, this is where the Macerator comes in. The Macerator, crafted as shown here, with machine block, 3 pieces of flint, 2 cobblestone, and an electronic circuit, will look just like this. You can see that it kind of has a similar interface to the electric furnace, right? Only in here, this is where you put your ores. So let me go ahead, turn down the game volume, because this does make a noise and it is quite obnoxious. I forgot to turn the noises off. So there we go. The Macerator, you can see the progress bar moving, and once it's finished, we will see the final output of this whole thing. It is quite slow, but trust me, it will be worth it, and if you had a few of these working on, each stack of ore, it would, be pretty cool. As you can see, from 1 piece of copper ore, we got 2 pieces of copper dust. Well, what can we do with these dusts? Well, we can smelt it, and 1 piece of dust, when smelted, will become 1 ingot. So essentially, from 1 ore, we will get 2 dusts, and then from the dusts, we will get 2 ingots. So basically, it is doubling our ore income, which is always nice and will allow you to have a lot more metals and stuff like that. Definitely very handy, and this is probably one of the first things that you are going to want to craft, because you will quickly find yourself running out of metals, running out of iron and stuff to make all your machines. Remember how rubber was a very big part of IndustrialCraft 2? Well, yeah. Like I said, from those rubber trees that we found out in the wild in part 1, we got the stuff called sticky resin. And if you would recall, when we smelted a piece of sticky resin in a furnace, we only got one piece of rubber. Just like with the ores, you will quickly find yourself running out of rubber and be scrounging for resources and trying to get everything, you know, crafted and stuff. So we need something that will help us to increase our our rubber production. There we go, there's the word. So for this we are going to use an extractor. There we go, extractor, crafted as shown with 4 tree taps, an electronic circuit, and machine block. Tree taps, as you should recall, were used to harvest the rubber, so it makes sense that they were used in crafting this machine. Now if we go ahead and find ourselves some sticky resin and put it into our extractor, we will see the progress bar work up again, and when it's finished, we get 3 pieces of rubber. So again, from 1 piece of sticky resin, we get 3 pieces of rubber. How awesome is that? So we're pretty much tripling our rubber income from, harvesting the sticky resin from the rubber trees. And again, this will definitely help you in, all the crafting and the different machines that you're going to build to industrialize your world of Minecraft. So the next machine that we have here isn't all that much use when you're first starting out the game. However, once you make more progress in IndustrialCraft 2 and get to more of the advanced stuff, this will definitely be a necessity in the game. This is the Compressor. Crafting recipe as shown here with just 6 pieces of smoothstone, machine block, and electronic circuit will get you the compressor. Place it down, again it uses power, and when you throw stuff in here, let's go ahead and just throw in a bucket of water. Here's one of the many things that you can put in here, and by bucket of water I actually meant a water cell. We went over, the different cells, I believe, in one of the other parts that I covered. But if we get a water cell and we put it in there, it'll start to compress, and eventually we should see that it produces a snowball. So there we go, putting one water cell in there gets us a snowball. Putting a snowball in there will get us ice. So there we go, you got a nice little way to get ice. Since I don't believe that Silk Touch will work on ice. Of course, I know nothing about vanilla Minecraft, so beats me. But ice, pretty cool. Place it down, you can build a nice ice castle, or if you're in the nether, you can use it to get water into the nether. So that's just one use. The main use for the compressor, however, is to compress these things called mixed metal ingots, and they compress down into these things called advanced alloys, if I can find them somewhere. Advanced alloys. So there we go. We will eventually see that it will compress into an advanced alloy. Now the crafting recipe for a mixed metal ingot is some refined iron, some bronze, and some tin. Again, bronze being obtained by combining bronze dust rather being obtained by combining copper dust and tin dust. So pretty cool. And again, we got our advanced alloy. Now, advanced alloys are used in some of the more advanced machines in IndustrialCraft 2. You can see a whole bunch of stuff right there. And, that's pretty cool. So again, not many uses early on in the game, but eventually you will find yourself needing the compressor. Also note that the compressor can be used to compress what is known as plant balls. Plant balls being obtained by just putting any type of organic material into a crafting table. And then when you put the plant ball into a compressor, you will get compressed plant balls. And this can be used for a few different types of things, specifically different types of cells. If I could find them, you can see a biocell. And this is used in this thing right here, a canning machine. Canning machine is pretty interesting, and to be honest, I don't really use this all that much. It was originally introduced to can food because when IndustrialCraft 2 was first released, food was not stackable. Everyone remember those days? Ugh, they were horrible. So it was used to, compress, food into what are known as tin cans. So you put a tin can on the bottom, and then put a piece of food, such as bread, on the top. Sorry, I didn't have enough tin cans there. A piece of bread when put into a candy machine with tin cans will give you 3 filled tin cans. As you can see, it used 3 tin cans. Tin cans are crafted with just some tin in a can shape. And there are different recipes, and different types of food give you different amounts of cans. So you can see that a piece of bread gave us 3 cans, but something that is cooked, like cooked pork chops, will give you 4 cans, which is pretty cool. You can also can stuff like rotten flesh to get 2 filled cans. So it allows you to make, uh, you know, otherwise inedible foods edible, which, that's the main reason for it now. Now in IndustrialCraft 2, we have gone over a lot about electricity, and that is the main power source in IndustrialCraft 2. However, there is another one, being fuel cans. A fuel can is crafted with just some tin, leaving out that little spot right there, getting you an empty fuel can. Now, if I give myself a few empty fuel cans, and give myself, I don't know, maybe some biocells. Biocells are crafted with an empty cell and a compressed plant. Compressed plant is obtained by putting a plant ball in a compressor, and again, plant ball is obtained by putting pieces of organic material in a crafting table like so. So I'm putting a biocell and some empty fuel cans in that order. My bad. This, shows you how often I use the canning machine. But you can't just use a biocell, you have to use biofuel cell. Biofuel cell is obtained by putting a biocell into an extractor, and this gets you biofuel cells. Now when you put your can in there, and some biofuel cells, you can see that it will work up, and the progress bar will move, and as it moves, it will use biofuel cells. It takes 6 cells to fill 1 fuel can. And eventually, we shall see that we will get something called a fuel can. A full fuel can. Any second now. There we go, we got a filled fuel can, and we can see that we use 6 biofuel cells. And again, proof that you put biocells into an extractor, getting you biofuel cells. Another use for this canning machine is to refill your jetpacks. A jetpack is obtained with this crafting recipe. There you go. So you can get it, and you can refill it in a canning machine by putting it on the bottom and putting biofuel cells on top. Biofuel cells, not biocells. And it will work up and slowly refill your jetpack. Now it will take about 18 biofuel cells to completely fill this jetpack, which would be quite inefficient and kind of a pain to wade through. So instead you can use something else, being coal fuel cells. And coal fuel cells, oops, if I can do it, fuel cells are obtained by putting H coal cells in an extractor. I believe that stands for hardened coal cells. And then empty cells with hard coal or compressed coal or whatever you want to call it will give you an H coal cell. This H coal is obtained by hydrated coal dust. I think that's hydrated coal. And then hydrated coal dust is obtained by putting coal dust around a water bucket or a water cell. This coal dust is obtained by macerating coal in your macerator. Okay? And then eventually you'll work your way up to coal fuel cells, where you can refill and only use 6 coal fuel cells instead of 18 biofuel cells. You can also fill up a fuel can using coal fuel cells. And then the jetpack, of course, when applied to your character, by putting it on wherever you put the chest plate, you can now fly. Bam! You can fly up as high as you want, however, be careful because if you fall too far, you can die. Alrighty, so we have just went over the basic machines in IndustrialCraft 2, which is nice because now we have a way to use all that power that we generated in the last part of this spotlight. Now we have only covered a few of the machines. There are a whole bunch of machines in IndustrialCraft 2, and we've only, slightly touched on them. So I will have to call this an episode, and in the next episode we will go ahead and cover the more advanced machines that come with IndustrialCraft 2. So as you can see, there are a whole bunch right here, but you guys will just have to stay tuned until the next part. So it's been Drawing Kid 1313 with my mod showcase part 3 for IndustrialCraft 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you join me next time. See ya!